What's going on, everyone? In this video, I want to cover how day trading momentum sometimes plays out. And there's not a lot of thought process behind it. This generally comes with a lot more experience trading the charts, a lot more screen time, I should say. Because with momentum, a lot of times the stop losses are going to be a little bit bigger than usual. You're kind of looking to jump in on an existing move because of the fact that you are looking to just make very quick cash on a scalp. Now, the problem with trading momentum, and I always have to give you guys a downside, is let's say, for example, you're wrong, okay? And the portion of the momentum that you're jumping in on suddenly takes a little bit of a pause and then shoots back the other way. Because the ranges are so big, you're probably going to give up a little bit more, maybe even double of what you normally lose on a particular setup that has a very, specified stop loss. And today's a perfect example of a momentum scalp that worked in your favor. And today is July the 22nd. So if you want to go back and back test, it's currently 8:35 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, July 22nd. We are going to cover this short position. So I've got my drawing tool here. There's a couple of things that stood out to me a little bit in the pre-market. And when I say pre-market, I'm talking about Asian session and I'm talking about London session. Okay. So when I look at this chart with the indicators that I have, with the levels that I have on this chart, I've got a linear regression here. Let's make this a little bigger. I've got a linear regression here, a linear regression channel 50 here. A linear regression channel is taking the previous 50 candlesticks. It's giving you an average mean, and then it's doing a 0.5 standard deviation off of that, if you guys are wondering. I also have a daily 5 SMA. That's this green line that you see on my screen. And I've got a 20 SMA. So the daily 5, the 20 SMA, and the linear regression channels. Okay. And with these three indicators, these three levels, I can gauge where I want to take some trades. I can gauge some bias. So what I'm noticing here, as we're coming in and approaching this New York Open, I'm noticing, hey, we tested a linear regression once, got rejected, kind of sold off, didn't really do nothing for the better half of London Open. And then it kind of started to grind to the upside. But leading into the New York Open, it was just consolidating. Now, a lot of traders might think that, well, we're at a perfect level for a breakout, which the market has been showing us that. But typically when you're grinding to the upside, you always want to look for some type of head fake and then a reversal. And if the market's going to be strong, what's going to generally happen is when you get that head fake and you get the pullback, it's going to trap early shorts. But it should, okay, not all the time, but it should hold at least your pre-market London lows, okay? So a pullback here would have been a great trap, get those early shorts going, and then you will see a push up like this, generally speaking, after the top of the hour. So after that first 30 minutes, after the first initial balance is set after that hour, you will see that continuation, and that would have been a perfect A+ setup for a long. Okay. Now, when that does not happen, we get what's called momentum, and momentum you don't want to fight. Okay. So don't try to go long based on your bias pre-market when the momentum is strong. So as we are pulling back here, this first 5-minute candle, I'm looking for something else. What am I looking for? Maybe some type of confluence. Is it matching up with another strategy that I use? In this particular case, it's a closure below the 20 SMA. So that's giving me a perfect 20 SMA trade right here. And then you're going to see once we confirm, it actually gives you enough room for a quick scalp on this wick, because the entry should have been below 23,278 and it shoots down to 23,259. So there's about 15 to 18 points in this first initial move. And for me, someone who's looking for 5 to 10, maybe 12 points if I'm really lucky, as a scalp, that's a perfect momentum trade. Now, if you held it a little bit longer, you have some price targets down here. You can definitely target the daily 5. And when you target the daily 5, you want to be selling into that. The next trade that you can get in on the momentum is you want to see the linear regression channel and the daily 5 get broken, which it does right here. You want to see that candle to close below, and then you're looking for a following candle to confirm. Now this is a 2-in-1 double-sided momentum trade at some really good levels this morning, and I really like when the market does this in the first 30 minutes, when it gives you those great momentum trades but through some significant levels, because generally that spells a short workday. And one thing that I do want to point out is if you do manage to catch a couple of these trades on any specific day, my best advice for you guys, turn off the computer, walk away, clock out, you are done trading. But what a lot of traders tend to do is they make fast money very quickly, and then they kind of sit around and they want to kind of continue to trade because they think they're going to make more money. And then what generally happens is you just kind of chop yourself up and you kind of grind this away and you put yourself on tilt. The other example is you're busy, or you didn't trust the move, or you had a bias so strong where you couldn't see taking a trade anything other than going long today, and you missed this entire move, and now you're kind of sitting there with a lot of emotions trying to like aggressively scalp down and aggressively scalp up and aggressively scalp down, and that never leads to doing anything good as well. So if you guys want a little bit more extra help, maybe you want some examples of the rest of my trading strategies, or maybe you want these levels and to trade with the team every single day, join Evolution Traders. We've got a couple of spots opened up for the month of August. That link is down in the description box below. If you guys need Apex evaluations, right now we've got about 48 hours left of the 80% off sale. Do they extend it? Who knows? If they don't, it'll go to 70%, which, you know, I don't believe is worth spending the money on the 70% off sale. So definitely load up right now as you can. You can use my discount code DAnthony. I will see all of you guys in the next video.